Hello everyone. This week I'm going to be talking about the worldwide state of censorship. And I've been learning about this for a couple of months now for my thesis project. So let's get right into it. The learning goals for this video are for you to know what is the motivation to censor, what is the current state of world censorship, and sort of what will influence the upcoming states of world censorship. And let's get right into it. First, let's define a little bit what censorship is. Censorship is the suppression of speech, public communication, or information. And there's various different types of censorship. The first one may be moral. Most countries have moral censorship laws. For instance, the internet that you're accessing will most likely not allow for child porn, or will ban mass killing footages, or there was a video circulating online about some homeless dude being beaten to death with a hammer. These are all moral censorship types, and the motivation there is to protect weak groups. Another type of censorship is military, where you censor active agent names so they don't get compromised in the field. And the motivation for that is to keep military intelligence a secret, which makes a lot of sense. Another one is religious. Two examples of religious censorship would be evolution and astronomy. The church or various different churches were against both of those. And the motivation is to keep, the people believing in the stuff that they are talking about. And lastly, and this is the type that I'm going to be focusing on most, there's political censorship. And what that would look like is the government censoring a website that's critical of them, or preventing companies from operating like Google in China within their boundaries in order to engage in economic protectionism. So, for instance, the Alibaba is the Amazon of China, and that's because Amazon is having trouble launching in China. And then, of course, the other motivation is social control. It's easier to control a population who gets no information about all the kinds of shit you get up to. So, what motivates censorship? For our first question, it's power. It's power. Whatever type of censorship it is, it's used to take away control from the censored party. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes you want to take that control away from pedophiles, for instance. But power. Now, the current state of world censorship is that you're seeing a lot of political motivations. There's always ways to profit of keeping people in the dark. And you're seeing less and less other motivation types, just because we're having sort of a stable amount of war, and people are going to find information to contradict your religion anyway. So, it's kind of harder to control people there. But interestingly, censorship as a whole is on the rise. And this can be seen by this statistic here. 48% of... Nope, wrong statistic. 47% live in countries where surveillance powers increased in the last year. And these surveillance powers are being put into active use. For instance, in China, in Iran, in Syria, in Belarus. And they make up this percentage of 71% of people live in countries that internet users have been imprisoned for posting political or social content. All right. Further, what's going on is that more and more countries are placing bans on ways that their citizen could get across that censorship, to sort of get past that barrier. And you're seeing that more. Myanmar is in the process of passing something. Cambodia is restricting more. And these are only the countries that care about VPN restrictions. There's many, many more countries that censor a lot of different input. So, what's the current state of censorship? Basically, more censorship in more countries. More and more countries are looking to censor and solve their public dissent problems and gain more control. And what you're seeing is a sort of a global initiative which is sort of perpetrated by several undemocratic countries, which focuses on preventing blocking technology like VPNs or Tor or I2P, for instance. And what you're seeing really in the current state of censorship is that there's a technology war where countries will try and use their firewalls and make more and more rules for that to sort of block the technology that's passing through. So, to our last question, what will influence the current state of censorship? So how is this going to change going forward? And I see 4 big factors. The first is 20 years ago, it was really hard to get the hardware necessary to do wide-scale censorship. Today, China has been selling this technology to various different countries, including Belarus, including Russia, including Iran, all these different countries. And this is something new. This will encourage the rise in authoritarian countries of censorship. Then the second one is technology already exists to block VPNs. It's honestly not hard. It will happen. With my guess is within the next 5 years. New types of VPNs will appear that will be more resistant, and that will sort of continue that war going forward. It's a cat and mouse game. You kill one VPN, another pops up, basically. And of course, another type of technology, because you can ban all VPNs. Thirdly, the world, if you look at the World Freedom Report or, honestly, any agency, the world is moving away from democracy. There's a rise in authoritarian leaders and more authoritarian leadership styles. And it's been shown that there's a real good correlation between sort of authoritarian leaders and being more interested in censorship. So that will most likely increase the amount of censorship we'll see in the coming years. And what we're seeing in sort of it's a new type of censorship which is being sort of coined fake news, which has the goal of flooding the market with unnecessary, untrue, biased, whatever media to sway public opinion, so that they don't get to true things that are going on. So, thank you very much for watching this week's video. I hope that you're able to answer all 3 of those questions. Look at that misaligned question right up top. But if you can't, or if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. It's sometimes kind of hard to tell which part of this is easy to understand, just because I've been dealing with this subject for a while now. I wish you a fantastic week. Bye-bye.